Now it's time that I request a prime mover of this function, a wonderful son of a wonderful father, Mr. Prabhakar Rao sir. He had been a student leader in Chennai, actively worked for the cause of youth. He started many industries in his career and was awarded President of India Award in Self-Made Industrialist category. Can we give a round of applause for that, please? He worked on sensitive issues of his father and was one of his confidant. After being in industry for 30 years, he left all his business and got fully involved in social activities for the last 7 years. He was in and out of politics and, like his father, an intellectual and believes in value based public life. I now request Prabhakar Rao sir to please share his memories with his father. Give a round of applause, please.
The lady gave a very difficult job to me. She says, share the memories of Mr. Narasimha. And she has given so little time. I remember Lakshmi Narayan Garu in another forum. He made a very pertinent point. He said, if you want to talk about Mr. Narasimha Rao, one lunch or one dinner is not going to be sufficient. So, anyway, today's star speaker, Dr. Sanjay Varveru, Mr. Lakshmi Narayan Garu, K.RamachandraMurthy Garu, Ma Sharma Garu, as a lot of dignitaries who are here, Lakshmi Garu, D. Prabhakar Garu, Professor Kishan Rao Garu, and a lot of my friends have seen you. Welcome to this function. Well, in 1991, when he took over as the Prime Minister of the country, a journalist asked Mr. Narasimha Rao, sir, you are 70 plus years and you've just gone through a very major surgery. You have frail health. The country today is in a big mess, both economic mess and also political mess. How do you think you will be able to handle this kind of pressure? I think Mr. Narasimha Rao gave a very classic reply to that. He said, I had life to my age, not age to my life, my dear friend. And every challenge I face, adrenaline flows, and from there I get my energy. And fortunately, future unfolds one day at a time. And as long as we give my 100% to the day on hand, everything will fall in place. This is, in essence, the art of living. Also, the karma yogi siddhanta. Gate shokena kartavyo. Bhavishyam naiva chintayet. Vartamanena kalena vardhayanti vichikshana. This means you won't have to worry about what has happened, nor do you have to worry about what is going to happen. As long as you are in the presence, you are the wisest person. I mean, that's what he believed. And as he said, every day of his prime ministership was a challenge. Punjab problem one day, it's Assam problem another day. Have Kashmir the next day, and Kaveri dispute the other day. But what I must say that he has faced the challenges absolutely well and come out with flying colors. Not only that, he gave permanent solutions to all these problems. That is the most important thing. Well, when I was 10 to 12 years old, I was a young man then. Oh, I used to see my father, surrounded by various people of various hues and colors. And each man talking, they had a connect with them. The connect was basically the language. If someone talked to him in Urdu, he would talk back in Urdu. If someone spoke to him in Marathi, he would talk back to them in Marathi. So I could see at that young tender age his flair for languages, his proficiency in languages. As though the regular languages is not enough. When I was mid-30s, he asked for a computer. And when I sent the computer, he started learning computer languages also. So that was his passion for learning. Anything came across, anything which was worth learning, he would be very happy to learn that. Irrespective of his age, at the age of 65 years, he started learning computers. And you will be surprised to know that at the age of 81, he started playing keyboard. And for 2 years, just before he passed when he was 83, 2 or 3 months prior to that, he says, now I'm ready for a concert. That was his passion to learn. Shraddhavam labhati jnana. That's what probably he believed in. It was a blend of tradition and modernity. Well, the very look of him would look a very traditional man, a dhoti, kurta and a rostrum. That's a description of Mr. Narasimha. But when you sit with him, you find a totally different man. So absolutely up to date with every subject worth the salt anywhere in the world. That was Mr. Narasimha. Learning for learning was eternal. And while on this subject, there's a very interesting incident which took place. This was narrated to me by Naresh Chandraji. In 2016, we met in a function like this, and we were in the audience. So 10 minutes, he was telling me what happened. I believe during Prime Minister's days, he happened to travel with him to Paris. Just before the flight landed, 15 minutes prior to the airport, maybe half an hour before the flight landed, Narasimha Rao scribbled something on a piece of paper, and he said, Naresh, you check up from one of the person who knows French well. I said, what? I'll take his opinion, let me know. So as he was told, when he landed in Paris, he called for a professor from one of the universities. And the professor, when he saw the paper, said, it's a beautiful poetry. Who wrote this? So Naresh Chandraji said, it's our Prime Minister, Indian Prime Minister, who wrote this. He was surprised, all the more surprised. He said, how a person who does not belong to France, how could he write this? So he said, can I publish this? He said, look, my Prime Minister asked me to show it to a person, nothing beyond that. If you wanted to publish it, then I'll have to ask him. So the evening when he met Mr. Prime Minister, he asked him, sir, this is what has happened and he wants to publish it. So Mr. Narasimha just smiled at him. And I said, Look, Naresh, I have sent this to know for myself how much I know French. Nothing beyond that. I am not interested in showcasing my skills. This is definitely for not propaganda. This is something which today's politicians should learn, should take a leaf or two from this. We see full page advertisements, aggrandizement, extolling their virtues, the achievements, the so-called little achievements what they have, they write as though they've reached the moon. Here's one person, despite all the qualities, despite all the achievements, such a low profile person. And low profile to the extent of probably self-effacing. I don't know whether it's good or bad, but that's what he was. Another very interesting episode I must share it with you. In 1990s, he had a problem with heart. And those days, getting an operation done in India was, not very advisable because we still haven't mastered the surgery so well. So, as everybody was taking patients to America, we also took Mr. Narasimha Rao to Houston. I accompanied him. Denton Cooley was one of the topmost surgeon of those days. So he operated on him. Everything went off successfully. So the next day morning, he woke up and he said, "Where am I?" I said, "Bapu, everything is fine. The surgery went off very well. Now you can relax. The worst is over. There is nothing to really worry about." I said, No. My life should have ended 2 days ago. But God has given me some, I don't know why He has extended my life. There is some unfinished job which I have to do. Mind you, this was 10 years, 10 months prior to he become the Prime Minister. And subsequently, a month later, we came back to Delhi. And the Mathadipati of Kutralam, he came and stayed with us for almost 2 months. He was asking Mr. Narasimha Rao to, take over as Mathadipati after him in Kutralam. He's been persuading for quite some time. And since he has completed his operation and he was fairly okay health-wise, so he came back to Delhi, stayed there for 2 months and he was persuading every day. So my father yielded. He said, "Okay, this is a good option, why not I go to Kutralam?" So we all reconciled that probably, at least because I heard him telling me that. So that probably is unfinished job. But 7 months, 8 months later, an unfortunate incident when Rajivji got assassinated and he took up the Prime Ministership and started cleaning up the mess from 1991 onwards. We then knew that was the unfinished job. And he's finished it so well. 5 years, he's transformed the entire country. I always say that 91 to 96 is the most productive time post-independence, but also the most turbulent time. I think Dr. Sanjay has put it in so well in his book. I've read the book. Most turbulent time and also most productive. We see economic reforms, we talk about it. But literally every other department, you take communication department, you take IT, you take airways. Literally every field there was reformation. Banking. That is what Mr. Rao did very quietly, no fanfare. We see today, even before something is announced, huge advertisements that something is going to happen. And once it is introduced, another 4 5 months to come, this has happened, that has happened. Ultimately, you know, the end result, God only knows how it goes. But those days he was different. Whatever he did it so quietly, no fanfare at all. This is what Mr. Narasimha was. Another small incident I remember now that I'm asked to bring out memories. 1999, I think, he was delivering a Tata Memorial lecture. He made a very profound statement. He said, I have been a doer throughout my life, less of a talker, and very few people to talk for me. I mean, very profound and heart touching. He said, very few people to talk for me. It was so. Nobody would see him. Probably people like Dr. Sanjay would perhaps go and see him once in a while. But nobody used to talk to him. God talked about him. And his prophecy came true in the next 15 years. And when people were refusing even to go and visit him, you can understand the plight of the family. When we go and talk to say hello, also they would just stand the fade out. That was the situation. But let me tell you, the prophecy was true only for 10 or 12 years to come. After 2014, when people started understanding the impact of economic reforms, the turnaround what India has seen, the benefits of economic reforms, people started flowing in. People started piecing back all their opulence or feel-good factor back to Mr. Narasimha. Then, today, let me tell you, there are 30 books available on him, nationally, internationally. Everybody talking about Mr. Narasimha. Today, everybody talks about him. That is the difference. And then today it's a deluge. I get calls, not from India, but everywhere from the world. Recently, I think Dr. Sanjay himself introduced a professor from Bologna University. He was very keen on writing about Mr. Narasimha. In international forums, he's called Deng Xiaoping. And Indian turnaround of economy is a case study. Everybody wants to know more about it. They call me and ask me, for more information. They ask for papers which is left behind. So that's the difference. And the lady just mentioned that there was a Sangrahalaya made in Delhi, and a chambers dedicated to Mr. Narasimha. And also Samadhi was made. We've been requesting for 20 years, nothing happened, but all of a sudden, the last 2-3 years, the Samadhi was made there in the name of Mr. Narasimha in Ekta Sthal. We have seen the local government going out of the way to celebrate his centenary celebrations, not only in India, all over the world. 50 countries celebrated this centenary year. That was something. This is a really turnaround. It's rediscovering Mr. Narasimha. That's what is happening now. Well, we talk about Bharat Ratna and so many other things. But what I feel is, Mr. Narasimha Rao made inroads into the minds and hearts of millions of people today. And that is the greatest reward or award one can think of. I'm really happy today that Dr. Sanjay Baruji is here. I've known Sanjay ji for quite some time, and then he has known Mr. Narasimha Rao so well. He's always treated Dr. Sanjay ji as he treated his own son. And his father was so close to my father. And Sanjay ji was a part of the change. He used to meet Narasimha Rao ji from 91 to 96 very often and get updates on what was happening. So I think he's the most appropriate person to talk about today's topic. I'm glad he has made it. And of course, we have Dr. Lakshmanarayan, who has been an inspiration, I would say. I mean, whenever I see his videos, he talks about so many things, value-based politics. And that is required today. I'm glad that they are here today. And I'm sure their talks will be enlightening and we'll be able to learn a lot today. Thank you very much for this opportunity.